Miss Candy for Hire. By Princess Indigo. Chapter 3. A Face from the Past. It was a balmy late afternoon in Rafaela. The foggy drizzle of the past few weeks had finally cleared. The streets were unusually quiet, save for the sound of a dog occasionally barking. The air had grown warm, and amidst the change of temperature the old Neo-Deco building gave up a little more of its paint and plasterwork from the ceiling. Throughout the whole building, a variety of different color schemes filled the myriad of hallways, offices, and apartments. On top of which, sweeping geometric Neo-Deco patterns, with slightly battered, glittering gold edging, predominated. It was a splendid opulent palace of yesteryear, that was slowly falling into ruin. Miss Candy got up from her classy retro chair, and poured herself a long slow glass of cool water. Drinking it down with no sense of urgency, the refreshing liquid, helping the biological parts of her components no end. "Would you like one, Miss Simonside?" Miss Candy said at last, turning to the client sitting on the other side of the glossy, yet slightly worn retro desk that had come with the office she was renting. "No, thank you, I'm perfectly fine," replied the seated old woman, adjusting her black leather gloves that contrasted with the distinctive pale brown suit she was wearing. "I remember when this building was opened. It was the most beautiful, Neo-Deco wonderland you ever saw. The cinema and the ballroom are all apartments now. When they first did the conversion, the rents were sky high. That's before the financial tide went out, in this part of the city," Patricia Simonside wistfully concluded. "I first came across this place in a very different line of work. Too many of the units are empty or derelict now, and all the little shopping arcades and cafes are closed these days. Everyone hides in their offices or apartments, and there isn't much intermingling between the different clans. No one comes here unless they really have to. It's a very discreet place to do business," replied Miss Candy as she sat down, and asked, "How did you get my number?" "Someone who knows someone asked around for me. This is a very private and delicate matter, Miss Candy," explained Patricia Simonside, glancing over her shoulder, as if to be sure that no one was watching. "Please explain your predicament, and I'll see if I can help," said Miss Candy with a little nod of her head, as the ceiling fan span in a laconic fashion above them. "One of our new associates has been kidnapped. There's been no ransom demands as such, but we have very good reason to believe she's still alive. Bluntly put, she's very freaking valuable to us, and we will pay rather a lot of money to get her back," Patricia explained, with a great deal of emphasis, and pushed a stray lock of hair back behind her well-tanned ear. "May I have a picture?" inquired Miss Candy, steepling her fingers as she processed the information. "Of course," said Patricia simply, and pushed a particularly creased picture across the desk. "Her name is Jennifer," said Miss Candy before her client could speak. "At least it was when I knew her," she continued, looking at the picture with a little frown of recognition, and then putting it in the drawer of her desk, without asking if she could keep it. "Do you have any idea who the culprits might be? The last time she was seen, it was getting in a car headed for the Lisbon quarter. We made some inquiries and were told she was taken by someone quite powerful and that we should look no further," admitted Patricia reluctantly. "You've upset Madame Tagus, haven't you?" answered Miss Candy rather curtly. "There was a disagreement over a very particular matter," admitted Patricia, clenching both her hands and then stretching her fingers out in agitation. "Whatever reason it is, that your associate is so valuable, Madame Tagus clearly wants to keep her all for herself," said Miss Candy forthrightly. "That is entirely unacceptable to us. We want her back. By fair means or foul," answered Patricia heatedly. "Then you have certainly come to the right place," replied Miss Candy and leaned back in her retro chair, then said, "Now let's talk about the money.